Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
If your eyes are the windows to your soul and your glasses are the windows to your eyes, then it's pretty important to find your perfect frames. That's why at Warby Parker, we've made shopping for eyewear as easy and fun as can be. Peruse endless styles in our stores or use our app to virtually try on frames and get personalized recommendations. To find your next favorite pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to locate your nearest Warby Parker store, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Let's be completely honest. Are you happy with your job? The fact is, a huge number of people can't say yes to that. Too many of us are stuck in a job we've outgrown or one we never really wanted in the first place. But we stick it out and we give reasons like, what if the next move is worse? And I've put years into this place. And maybe the most common one, isn't everyone miserable at work? But there's a difference between reasons for staying and excuses for not leaving. It's time to get unstuck. It's time for Strawberry.me. They match you with a certified career coach who helps you get from where you are to where you want to be, either at your existing job or by helping you find a new one. Your coach helps clarify your goals, creates a plan, and keeps you accountable along the way. Go to strawberry.me/career and get 50% off your first coaching session. That's strawberry.me/career.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Psycholegal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are continuing with our Sister Wives Rewind. So we're going to change things up a little bit moving forward. So in this episode, we're going to cover season 6, episodes 18 and 19, because both of those have to do with the commitment ceremony and the mission statement. And moving forward, we're going to experiment a little bit. What we noticed was, as we've been covering this, that, we find ourselves repeating a lot of the same things over and over again. So we want to take things in themes or in chunks of time.
Important.
Yes.
There's a lot of filler episodes coming up about, all about Janelle or all about Mary. And it's like, they're really searching for content. So
kind of, yeah.
Like next week, we're going to combine the first 3 episodes of the next season because it's all about My Sister Wives Closet.
Yeah.
So then we can do a deep dive into My Sister Wives Closet and just try to make it more interesting.
Yeah. Because, obviously when we get to the catfishing, we're going to slow it down and dig into all of that stuff. But, it's a lot of this, like any other family, the dynamics with this family, certain things don't change and they're the same things. So we obviously want to make this as fun and entertaining for everyone. So, and we'd love to hear your feedback if you feel like this is a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
So anywho,
soon, hopefully in September, then we'll have the season 19.
Yes. And that we'll do obviously week by week.
Episode by episode. Yeah. And we'll take a break from this and whenever that comes out.
Yes. I know there was rumblings that it would maybe be August, but it looks like it's definitely September.
Yeah. I think we'll probably get a trailer soon.
Hopefully.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. So this is season 6, episodes 18 and 19. 18 is Celebration Countdown, and the 19 is the Commitment Celebration. So we're just going to talk about things just in general, some themes that we're finding, and we'll go from there. So where should we start?
Well, let's start with
the dresses.
Okay, we can start with the dresses. This occupied a lot of time.
Yes.
Remember when they were in San Francisco, the last episode, they went to Britex Fabrics.
Yes. So they're about so they keep giving us in these episodes like 4 weeks before the ceremony, 2 weeks before the ceremony, 3 days. So at this stage, we're 4 weeks before the ceremony and nobody has a dress.
No.
Nobody.
And Janelle has this friend whose poor daughter
I know
gets roped into this, Sam. She's just graduated from fashion design school, and her first job is to make 4 dresses out of this fabric that they just randomly bought in San Francisco with no consideration of, is this fabric good?
Yes. Because we all know, if you're a Project Runway fan, Tim Gunn says it begins and ends at mood.
That's right.
Things go wrong with the fabric choice, as we find out with Mary.
Yes,
for sure.
What did Sam say that the fabric that Mary chose was only good for upholstery or a cheap Halloween costume?
Yeah. So
it was unworkable.
Yeah. And when you see it on her, you can see why. I was like, oh yeah, this isn't workable fabric at all.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing too, is I didn't realize that they had purchased all this fabric without having a dress design or even an awareness of how much fabric they would need. Or do you know what I mean? It's interesting because I've watched enough Project Runway to know they actually, they design the dresses and then they go to mood.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I don't know how much preparation they did. Didn't seem like a lot. But yeah, I think Janelle is the one who seems the most vested in this dress. Janelle looks really good. She's lost a lot of weight.
And in the end, her dress, I think, looked the best.
Oh, yeah. It looked great.
Yeah.
It looked great. So I don't know who designed her dress, if she designed that herself, but it was very flattering.
Mm-hmm.
A very good design for her. And it was really the only dress that was executed perfectly.
Well, and also, but even Janelle's fabric looked complicated, I thought. Like that kind of sateen.
Kind of set. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was the other thing too, is they all wanted these like drapey, some form fitting, some drapey dresses. And none of the fabric choices we're back to the fabric. But yeah, hers definitely looked the best and the most designed. And in the end, I think Christine's looked good too. Very really? Christine-like. I didn't love it. I mean, it wouldn't be what I picked. The colors, like Janelle picked this really beautiful blue color that I thought was great. And then Christine picked these burnt orange.
It was brown.
And brown. It was just a little bit like, ooh, not the best for you, Christine.
That dress looked exactly like the dress that she wore at Robin's wedding. It was that same kind of design that, it was long sleeve. It was also brown, like empire waist. This one had a little more detail on it, but she looked like she was going to a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, she likes that.
Like one of those kind of, but that was very unflattering. But I don't know, she didn't seem to care, or she seemed fine with it.
Yeah. Well, but the whole thing just seemed so unnecessarily stressful. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like they all, and again, obviously this is for the show, for the producers, but it was just this whole thing of going to San Francisco and then looking at all these dresses and then coming back and then, okay, we bought this fabric and now we have this fabric. And then, we're going to wait months and months to, find someone to design the dresses and do all this stuff. And it was just so poorly planned. It was a little bit of like, did you guys just maybe try to go out and look for dresses on your own at one point? I mean, as we saw in the end with Mary, it's not as hard as it seems.
She found one in an hour. She went down to David's Bridal or whatever and found a dress. And Robin, because Robin's dress was also a disaster. It wasn't fitting right. Nothing about it was going right. And she just found something in her closet. And I wondered, I'm like, did she pick that up like a week ago or so?
I think she did.
When she saw where this was going, because you could tell from the very first time she, was trying on pieces and getting fitted, she didn't like it. And she was thinking, oh, this isn't going to work. So I think she went out and bought something.
Well, the other part that's tricky is because of the modesty part, right? They're very limited on what they can do. And Robin was she found this dress in San Francisco that she loved, that she wanted to recreate. The problem is the dress in San Francisco was sleeveless and kind of, tight fitting and also to your knees. I mean, again, it's like, yeah, that looks good because it's of those details and that design, and that's what hits right. It's trying to replicate that again. And that's what she was trying to do with the weird lace. It was like blue with black lace. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Not good. And yeah, I just felt so sorry for this Sam.
Yeah, her attitude when she first got there, she was like, hey, everybody, like, hi, happy. Towards the end, she was like, do you have something else in your closet? She was done with these people at the end. She really, and that's the other thing too. I wonder if she got paid anything, or if this was like, they said to them, oh, we don't have a budget for this, so you're going to need to,
maybe she thought she would get, promotion.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked out. I mean, actually, she did a great job on Janelle's dress, I thought.
Yeah, she did 2 dresses. I mean, and she did the other dress too. And that's 2 dresses. And again, I think because of Project Runway, I think we're very skewed on what we think people can produce. But again, a lot of these designers that you see on Project Runway, they've been working for 10, 15 years. Like they are Sam 10, 15 years from now, like to just graduate.
And again, they get to pick their own fabric.
Yeah.
Sam had no say in the fabric. She just had to work with what was there, and it was not good.
Can we talk about what Mary ended up picking? I don't understand that either, because everything she picked out was, so she goes to this bridal, place, and then the thing that she picks out is green, but it's not Kelly green or a nice
like a mossy deep green.
I wrote down vomit green. It did not. It was a weirdly light color green. It's not. Her friend said it was her color. It's not. I don't think it was her color. Then she had this ill-fitting white jacket,
like a shrug, which I understand, and then this weird white tie. The whole thing looked weird. Well, it looked better than what it would have been.
Yes, that is true.
With that other crazy fabric, but
that is very true.
For an 11th hour thing, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I guess it's just funny that she just didn't want to pick black. She was like, "Oh, I like the black and white, but I want a color." It's like, okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Kody, they kept asking him what he thought, and of course he is just like, I'm not going to say a thing because they, with the exception of Janelle, they all looked terrible. And I'm sorry, even Christine's dress was awful. And, he's like, oh, it looks like a princess dress. And it's like, oh, good answer. Oh,
yeah, but they spent a lot of time talking about these dresses in the confessionals. It was like, okay, we got it. And we have to hear from Kody about how, I know as a husband, I'm not supposed to say this, so I'm going to say that. It's like, okay. Yeah,
it was a huge, huge part of the show.
Yeah.
It was kind of anxiety producing, even though I've seen this before and I know how it turns out, it's that anxiety of like watching, oh God, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Looking at poor Sam, who's, hasn't had any sleep in a couple weeks, and it's just fit to be tied.
Yes.
She had to bring in her mom at the end.
Thank God, Mom, because Mom had gotten sleep, and Mom again had a lot more experience. She just, you can't buy experience. You just.
Yeah.
So she just was able to handle it. So anyway.
Yes. So the at some point it comes out, I think Kody says that the idea for this mission statement came up like a year and a half ago.
With the
And
Doggers.
I think it's when they went to go see the Dargers. Yeah.
Doggers.
And, Christine was so inspired by, just how orderly and, how well run the Darger family was. And they had this mission statement. And she just really grasped onto that. Like, if police had a mission statement,
again,
everything would be better.
It was all just from what we saw a meal. Almost like, hey, we have a mission statement. And then you grab onto that idea and hold on to it. I mean, it wasn't as if Christine was with them when they developed this idea and they came about it and she thought it was a great idea. I mean, it literally was when poor Christine was grasping at straws to try to get the marriage rolling and get it better.
Yeah, remember, I think it was on Christmas, like maybe the first Christmas that they were in Las Vegas, or maybe they were still in Utah. But anyway, they were working on the mission statement on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Am I making this up?
I have this vague recollection of it, but it was not in Utah. It was definitely in Vegas. Because they didn't spend time with the Doggers until Vegas.
Yeah. So and the kids all could care less.
The kids
doesn't mean anything to them. It's not important to them at all. And then they're in therapy with Nancy like just days before this thing is due, or before the commitment ceremony, still working on this mission statement. And it's funny because Rob is very, very serious about it.
Well, this is the part I don't understand is, so we in the beginning of episode 18, we see them, we have to then go back and watch them do that horrible family sculpting exercise again. And we see that this is what's, prompted them to do this. And then we get back to, and we see them talking about this in therapy, but going in circles about these sentences. And should we phrase it this way, or should we phrase it that way? And if we do it like this, and then if we do it like that, and I don't know, Nancy's just watching them. I'm just kind of like, Nancy,
she's just trying to get it over with and get it done. She's tired of hearing about it. It's like, we just got it. It's like 5 days before the party.
Yeah. If I had clients like this, I would just be like, I never want to hear about this mission statement again. Don't bring it to me. Find someone else, please.
No. But but Robin is really, at first, I think Christine was excited about it. She seems less excited now. It's been so long. She's forgotten why she even cares. But Robin, she's saying that she seems to really want to be accepted. This is like a way of proving she's accepted into the family. She's part of this family because she's part of this ceremony. She's part of this statement. And she says that she's been trying to get here to this place all of her life.
For 35 years. Because, right, she's about 35 at this point.
She says, I'm 35 and I finally, I have this husband of my dreams and, this family, and we're in these homes and I have my own home and been trying to get here all my life. I mean, this is really turned into Robin's party.
Yeah. Which I, again, don't understand. I mean, you're here, you got married, you're married to him, you've been living this for several years now. Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah. She wants public, recognition of this.
That's the sense that I get, because she made a comment about, well, our church, we don't do public ceremonies. And I really think that what she wanted was a public ceremony of this too. And again, I don't know if she thought that she would become more popular or more acceptable, or if she would feel more popular, accepted within this family. I have no idea, but it's all just so bizarre because I don't think anybody else cared.
No. And in fact, Janelle says, well, what happens if we get a fifth wife? Which there's only 4 copies of the commitment.
And that's the whole time I kept thinking, like, you can't just get another printed? Like,
well, they put them on those canvases. They're like, because you can see, you saw the painted, it was painted on a canvas. So I guess they had identical ones, one for each house. And then they had a smaller one that was like the one they signed.
But can't you get those 4 copies. And then, okay, fine. And then if someone else comes in, just say, okay, go back to wherever you printed
go back
it.
to Walgreens or wherever you ordered it from.
Get it printed again. And then just leave a little space at the bottom in the corner for a 5th person to sign. And then just have that person sign. Here you go. There you go. Fixed. Solved. But this is the thing that was driving me crazy. And I think that if I was Nancy, I'd be going crazy too, which is now we have to have this debate about whether or not there's going to be another wife and what's happening. And it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me here. Really? Like now we're going to debate this? Now, just okay. Yeah. But aren't you celebrating where you are today?
Right.
Like that's where you are today. So you can't, it doesn't matter if Kody never takes another wife again, or if he takes 15 wives, you're capturing this moment in time.
Yeah, this is your family now.
Yes.
So
this is like the Jennifer Lopez. This is us now. It might be different 20 years from now, which it is, but this is who you are now.
And Mary, she really seems just not into it.
Yes. Okay. So this was the most interesting thing. Let's talk, because we were chatting about this a little bit. Are you going to talk about Kody, like fussing at her?
Yeah. Shaming her? Yeah. She's not as into it because she's going through some stuff. Mm-hmm. She's wondering, okay, well, her only child has gone off to college, and she's like, well, what do I do now? She's really going through something that's very normal and common, and Kody's attitude towards her is just kind of like, what is your problem?
Yeah. Well, I think she asks, and I believe this is in the therapy session, she asks it in the therapy session, and Kody addresses it on the couch. I can't remember, but she asks a very good, interesting question, which is, I'm concerned about, this is great that we're doing the commitment study and the mission statement, but what happens after?
Right.
She says, so sort of like the same thing, like what happens then? Then we do all of these things. So then we're spending all this time and energy doing the ceremony. Then how do we translate that into our day-to-day lives? What does that look like? And Kody had no time for that. That's when he was like, I wrote this down. You just need to be hopeful.
Yeah. You need to change your mindset to be more hopeful.
Yeah.
Positive. And she looks shocked.
Almost, and I don't know if that's the point, if she was trying to make a point after that or what any of it was, but he just cut her off to, like, boom, doesn't matter. This is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And Leon is now left the house. Mm-hmm. She has this big giant house, by herself. And I think she does feel really isolated from the other women. And yeah, okay, she can be around to help with the kids, but everybody's kind of in their own groove. I mean, and you're going to go over to Robin's house every day and take care of Solomon. I mean, she's wondering what her purpose is.
Yeah, Robin has a nanny.
That's true. She does have a nanny.
She has a nanny. She has Mindy. Mm-hmm. And, half of the kids are, in high school or older, and, there's a few little kids, but they have their own lives and routines. And
besides Truly and Solomon, everybody else is in school. Like all the kids are gone from, 8 to 2 or 8 to 3, and then they've got activities or whatever. So again, she's got nothing to do.
Yeah, and they have moms who are home because nobody's working other than working on this show.
Yes. Yes.
There's really nothing for Mary to do.
But so you can already see a bit of how their relationship is breaking down, and you can understand, which I know people have given Mary such crap for this, but I really do understand how you could then want to go online and try to find someone who's going to be nice to you. Mm-hmm. Desperate to find someone who's going to pay attention to you, care about what you have to say, think that you're special and important. So she was like ripe for this. She really was. And I can't remember, we were talking about this before about the dresses. Like she said that she wanted this edgy dress. You can sense that she's going through something. She wants to be different. She wants to be edgy. She wants to rebel outside of whatever this, small, narrow world that she's been in for a long, long time. And no one's really supportive of it.
No. And I'm starting to feel for Mary.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see like the beginnings of, what happens with her. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right.
No.
And Kody really, after she's, first, that whole thing about whether they were going to go through infertility treatments.
Oh God.
And then he said, no, forget it. I'm cutting it off. And she's like, oh, I was going to tell you that I was willing to do it. That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he just decided almost like, well, what good is she to me anymore?
Yeah.
Except for her money. He keeps her around because she's making money.
Well, and I think also we saw with that, right, which is, this is a plot line, right? Because this mission statement, I mean, yes, Christine got excited about the mission statement, but the mission statement and the commitment ceremony is for content. It's for a plot line.
Yeah.
And I think it was Mary. I think Mary's already kind of figured out like, maybe he was using this baby thing as a plot line.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is what's happening. It's all.
I think she was taking it kind of seriously.
Yeah.
Because she looked really shocked when he was like, no, I'm pulling the plug on this.
Yeah. This is the thing that drives me crazy is I wish Mary would talk about these things. I think that we're the up, and I think a lot of these things would be very different if she would be willing to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's either she's not willing to talk about it, which is fine. She doesn't have to. But, it's going to make you far more relatable.
Yeah.
But then the other part of me wonders if she even really understands any of this. We see this all, but I wonder how much she really understands. And that's why she thinks that just saying you have to feel worthy is enough. Like worthy versus like really digging into realizing like, oh, wow, he told me this. I believe
she was
this.
Used.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for her to admit that he used her for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Just used her, treated her like nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't even have the dignity or, the respect for her to say, I don't want to be married to you anymore. Mm-hmm. Just kept stringing her along, used her for her money.
Well, and used the goodwill too, in terms of getting her to divorce him so that he can marry Robin, so that he can adopt those kids. I mean, yeah, if you really pull back and like go back and you look at it, you can see how, can't be too mean to her, because I need her for this, can't do that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. They, I wish we would know who gave what to Coyote Pass. And because I think a lot of that money was from Mary.
Yeah, because remember, she sold her house in Las Vegas and she did not buy a new one. Mm-hmm. She was renting in Flagstaff. So I think that her money went into the property. Janelle's money did too. Mm-hmm. And towards, buying that house for Robin and Kody. The only person who escaped that was Christine because she hightailed it down there and bought a house before anyone could take that money from her,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I mean, right. He's never been very supportive of anything that she's done ever. So yeah, it's crappy. It's super crappy.
It is. So yeah, we're seeing the beginning of this here, but this really felt like Robin's party, and she had all her little things with her sand pouring, and then she made those cuffs for everybody.
God, the cuffs.
Tree and the whole tree theme. And then they had the tree cake, which I thought was too expensive. Did they get a cheaper tree cake?
Maybe. Or maybe, the cake place and TLC Puddle Monkey worked together to get that. Because the tree cake was really impressive. Cool. Yeah. It was very cool. Again, those kinds of cakes, they never taste that great because they've had to be compressed and
and they have all that fondant and
there's a whole layer of stuff. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I kept thinking was like, they're all right. They try to, like 5 days before the ceremony, they get all the kids out there, everybody, except for Logan, who was like,
the rehearsal.
Rehearsal. Like Logan's like, I'm only showing up for the actual thing. Just tell me where to go.
Yeah.
So they're all there and none of the kids want to do this. None of the kids want to be there. They're bored out of their minds. And then you hear about all the stuff that they're going to do. Cause it's like, okay, you're doing the mission statement. You're going to sign it. Everybody's going to sign the mission statement. You're thinking, okay, great. No, now we're going to do a sand ceremony. Oh, okay. We're going to meld the sands together and blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. Now, and we're also going to do this jewelry presentation. And then it's like, and then we're going to plant a tree. It's way too much stuff. Like a wedding. You're holding people hostage.
Yeah. It's probably 110 degrees outside too.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Las Vegas.
Month?
I mean, I don't know.
What month is it? Yeah.
I don't know. But
it can't be during those really hot months. But yeah, it's like a wedding in the sense that you've got all these people's attention and you're just, okay, let's add one more thing and one more thing and one more thing. So it's so much stuff that no one can, remember it or retain it. And the kids are annoyed. But this, hands down, is the best part of this whole thing, is when Maddie says, well, what if we don't agree with the mission statement? And then later, someone said something to Maddie about it. And she's like, I just like to push Robin's buttons. She did it just to piss her off. I'm like, good for you, Maddie.
Yeah. And Kody's like, well, I'm not going to make you sign it if you don't, want to sign it. And Robin has a conniption fit.
Yeah. So she's like, oh my God.
She's like, well, if you don't want to sign it, you can move out.
Well, and then Kody starts to lose his mind because he starts to freak out. And I wrote down some of the things that he sent home. He said, don't smart off at me and you'll be sent home, kicked out of the family. So he's threatening to kick people out of the family if they don't pay attention in this rehearsal. I'm like, oh, this is great.
This was the beginning of his, multiple toddler meltdowns.
Yes.
Yeah, throughout the
day
days.
5. Yeah. that was meltdown number 1.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting about these things is you can see how all the wives are sort of fussing at him about what he said. But the kids don't even really listen to him. You don't get the sense from any of those kids that they were like, oh no. Like,
oh no, Dad, they're not scared of him.
Yeah. They were all kind of like, oh, what is your problem?
Because he never follows through with anything. He never, he has no credibility with them. He just likes to talk. Yeah. He's like, whoever doesn't want to sign the mission statement hates America.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Okay. Psych Legal Pop will be back after these messages.
Hey everybody, I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and you may know us from our podcast, Surviving Sister Wives, where we snark on the TLC show, Sister Wives.
Now we're excited to introduce our brand new weekly podcast, Surviving Reality, where we'll be breaking down other dumpster fires on reality TV, starting with Season 6 of Welcome to Plathville.
So whether you're binge watching, hate watching, or just good old disassociating from reality, we hope you'll join us there. You can find Surviving Reality wherever podcasts are available or listen ad-free on Patreon at patreon.com/survivingpod.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Yeah, he and Robin were both really melting down. This didn't go well.
No.
not a good rehearsal.
No.
So
Not at all. But then that's when we learn from Kody that he also wants to do something fun and special for the ceremony. So instead
there's not a million other things to do.
Yes. So you have 90 things.
He starts a new project 3 days before.
So he thinks it's a great idea to string lights from each of the houses into the middle of the cul-de-sac, and then they would kind of go out almost like a half circle, like a
canopy kind of thing.
Yeah, and sort of you see the shape, it's almost like, yeah. And it's a beautiful idea, and it's a great one. Again, when they all left for that trip, in San Francisco or whatever, you could have done it then. Like, there's so many different times. You could have done this months ago. I don't know when he decided he wanted to do that, because he said he got a special ring thing. I said, so you had to have time to find that ring that seemed kind of unique. So to where they all can join together. Maybe
I thought it was just going to take a couple hours.
Yeah.
And it took 3 days, and it still wasn't finished on the day of the commitment ceremony. His brother had to finish it.
Yes. And it's still not all the lights worked too.
Yeah. And I think Logan and some other guys pitched in. Yeah. And it still wasn't complete. I mean, he should have known after the first day and a half that, okay, well, maybe I won't be able to string as many lights as I want.
Yeah.
Maybe let's just go with he wanted to have 2 lights from each house. Was going to be 8, a total of 8.
Yeah.
No, you go with 3 or 4. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, but in the first day, he realized how long it was taking him. And it was like, okay, so do the math from there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to break out of what you want to do, or I don't know, find someone and hire them to come and do it for you, or get a couple people rolling.
Yeah, get
right?
some help.
Yeah. So obviously none of the kids wanted to help him. The only person that was helping him, did you notice, was Janelle, because Janelle was down below towards the end throwing things at him.
Was Christine out there too?
She might have been. I just remember Janelle being at the bottom, throwing crap, throwing stuff, throwing, and until it was over. So those Christmas light thing, it was just, you gotta let that go.
It did look cool, but
yeah,
I don't know if it was worth it. But yeah. So then, I became fascinated with the preparation of the food.
Yes, let's discuss that.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
What I didn't understand is, I'm not a caterer, but not everything has to be in small plastic cups. Why did everything have to be individually made? Obviously, there's always hors d'oeuvres, but what would be easiest would be, okay, maybe you're going to do past hors d'oeuvres where that has to be individual small things. But then why don't you do more of a buffet kind of thing? That would be 10 times easier than small things.
Everything was either something you could pick up. They had these kind of marshmallows that looked like they'd been dipped, and there was a stick.
Yes, I think those were the desserts.
You could just pick up with a napkin or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there were any plates or utensils. Everything was in these cups.
Yes,
these plastic cups, and I was trying to figure out one of them was caramel sauce and then cut up apples,
which is nice. But then why do you have that? There was tons. That should have been just for the kids. Is that just for the kids, or was that for everybody? It was kind of an odd thing.
It was for everyone. They had 7,000 individual food items.
There was something
7,000 either cups or something you could pick up in your hand.
There seemed to be in one of these cups, these plastic where people usually at a art opening that you put wine in, one of those short plastic cups. So there looked one of them, it looked to be salsa or 7-layer dip, or I could not figure out what is that.
It looked like cheese and salsa and cilantro. And then maybe do you dipped a chip in it? Do they put chips on top of it?
I don't know. But it looked so unappetizing. And I don't understand why you needed to put that. If you want 7-layer dip, why can't you make a nice display of a dip and then let people scoop and do it themselves?
I don't know. It reminded me sort of like how people would do stuff during COVID, so that no one's touching a lot of stuff. But
it was a COVID party.
It was a pre-COVID party. And there were a ton of Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, God. Everything was a Rice Krispie treat. Everything.
Yeah, it was it was interesting. And then there was like, it was her Mary's sister was, in charge of all of this. And then she was making all of these meatballs. And I'm like, well, where are you going to put the meatballs? In the plastic cups? And then you have little toothpicks? Or I didn't see how that was executed, but it was, I've never seen anything like that.
It was not appetizing. And then I saw at one point during the party, like you could see people picking stuff up. And I think there were plates and people were putting stuff on their plates, but there was like this one plate that just had what looked like meat and cheese on sticks, skewers, but they were like loose. And it was just like, then why then just make a cheese plate? Like why put them in individual skewers if you're not going to display them?
I don't know.
It was a little sloppy. It was, but poor Deborah obviously wasn't getting paid like Sam. And she kept saying, oh, Mary owes me big time. Because this poor woman's been cooking for 3 or 4 days. And Mary's mom is in there doing all the math.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that was interesting. And then, of course, there were the pictures.
Yeah, hold on. So there's real quick before we get to that. Yeah. So this was the other thing that was kind of odd about this was there was this whole other thing with the rehearsals and looking foolish or silly. Like that seemed to be, I kept hearing them say things like, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake here. We don't want to look silly in front of their kids, silly in front of your guests.
All the people, America.
Yeah. And again, then,
Well, I think that the kids were being so, just not listening and talking and, they're just being kids. And I think they panicked and they thought, oh my God, this is supposed to be serious. We've been working on this for a year and a half. This is culminating in this big commitment ceremony. And there were a lot of people there. Yeah. It's on TV. And I think they got panicked that the kids were going to be acting all silly and goofy like it wasn't serious, but they got it together.
Yeah, of course they did.
They're kids. I mean, once the day came and they got their nice clothes on and everything was fine.
Mm-hmm. This is another Mary thing. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. So Mary, when we find out the dress isn't going to work, Mary needs to go buy a dress, and her best friend, Andrea, comes over. You ever notice that Mary always seems to have a best friend?
Yeah, and this I guess this was her best friend before Jen.
Yeah. So Andrea, and this is not the first best friend of Mary's that we've met. There have been some others. And of all the women, she's the one that's always having these best friends. And I think that is, to me, it feels like as a middle-aged woman myself, best friends? I'm not 12, like, you're my bestest friend?
It would be one thing if this was like your best longtime friend that you've known, since childhood or whatever. But yeah, she has multiple best friends that kind of cycle in and out.
Yeah. I just find that very interesting. I think, again, Mary's a very young person in many, many ways. And this best friend thing. So anyway, had to mention that. So let's get to where are we at? The commitment commitment ceremony.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're there. I guess.
Yeah, there was a lot of like melting down.
There was the pictures. Were the pictures after the ceremony?
No, the pictures were before the ceremony. The kids do get it together. Of course, the firstborn, primarily daughters. So Maddie, Aspen, McKelty, and Leon, the 4 of them got together and wanted to do something special for the parents, which I thought was very sweet. I don't know if the producers told them they needed to do this, but that was very sweet.
Yeah, they organized this little flower thing where each kid said something nice and they made a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah. But yeah, the pictures there were a few other things. So before the pictures, there were some great moments. So McKelty
Mm-hmm.
What McKelty, these 2 episodes is wearing high heels, like 4 to 5 inch high heels that I'm shocked no one in that very conservative family said anything to her about the fact that she was wearing these high heels. So she shows up for the day. She's wearing these high heels and this hat. And then there's this great moment where Gabe looks at her and goes, "What's with the hat?"
It's like this little tiny hat. It's like the guy from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Who wears the Mad
Hatter. Yeah.
This tiny little hat.
I mean, it was a look. She planned that for a long time, like the hat and the heels and the dress.
She's a fashion designer.
Yes,
too,
she is a fashionista. But that was just great. She just walked up and it was almost like Gabe was focusing on something else. And all of a sudden he sees her. He's like, what's with that hat?
Gabe is funny. He makes a lot of like funny little comments.
Yes. And then the other thing that I have to mention is the band.
Oh,
the band
Van Lady Love. Which I looked them up.
Oh, okay. Please tell me. Yes, Kody's favorite band.
They're from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I think from Provo, Utah. I think it said, and they have several songs on YouTube. I don't know how old these songs are, but I listened to a few of them, and they're terrible.
Oh, really?
They're just terrible.
So, is someone's last name? Is it like Bon Jovi? Is someone's last name Van Lady, or do they love van ladies?
They love van ladies. I don't know.
Do they love that life where they've got ladies in their van which is getting creepy?
Well, they've changed their names since then. They're now known as Van Hoff, Hof. And then they have this their symbol is the letters V and H. And I'm like, this looks a lot like Van Halen.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to rip off Van Halen. But they sound nothing like Van Halen. Their music is terrible. It's
I mean, there's only one Eddie Van Halen.
No, there's only one Van Halen. These people should not be using those initials. So
Van Hoff, that's weird. Why that? Is this now a David Hasselhoff thing? Like, I can't tell if these are all like tongue-in-cheek names or if this is really like, is someone Van something? Is this why we keep sticking with this? Or is Van like the van life part of your thing?
Name is Van. I don't know. I didn't go any further with my research. But if anyone wants, their music is out there. If anyone wants to, but yeah, they're not Kody's favorite band. They just hired them because they're local guys, and they could probably got them for free, in exchange for saying their band's name on TV.
Yeah, probably.
So.
All right, so now we can get to Kody and the meltdown.
The pictures.
Yeah.
So he's really, he blames it on his blood sugar. He's hydrated, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'm looking at this scene and it's really not that bad. The kids are like in formation. They are trying to take a picture and Cody's just yelling at everyone. It's like, Kody, stop yelling. If you stop yelling, then the guy can take the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But Solomon's crying.
And Truly's kind of being fussy.
Truly's being fussy. But I mean, what are you going to do about that? It's like, maybe you should have planned this better. Because, they're 2 hours late.
Yes.
They were supposed to take pictures 2 hours ago.
This whole thing is a classic Brown.
Yeah.
Like everything's way too last minute for words.
So I didn't think it was all that bad. But he was just in a state of...
Oh, yeah. Well, and then he keeps yelling at everyone like, look down the lens! Look down the lens! It's just like, and everybody is just, everyone's like, wait, hold on. And Solomon was being a little fussy and then Truly like just moved to another, all they needed to do was Truly just move to a different kid. Mm-hmm. And then Solomon did mellow out. It was like, maybe Solomon's fussy because you're freaking out and you're holding him. Yeah. So maybe if you just calmed a little bit and then he throws that whole thing of, well, I had to take pictures with everybody because everybody was in all the pictures and you all got breaks. And blah, blah. It's like, okay, Kody. Okay.
He's
but
like,
you are an adult.
Doing this for 15 minutes. I've been doing it for an hour.
It's like, okay,
Kody, it's not a contest.
Well, it's also a little bit like, yeah, that's your role in all of this. Like, that's your part of it. That's the sacrifice that you have to make is that, and sometimes it's going to be for you. There are other times where you get a giant break because you have multiple wives and multiple families. Like, and so what's so funny about that too is that once they're finished, he's like, oh God, I don't know. That wasn't really like me, was it? Kind of acting like this was some bizarre moment in time. It's like, no, we've seen him like this before. Yeah, you freak out a lot about a lot of different things and you yell. So this isn't blood sugar or thirsty. And I'm sorry, but if you were thirsty, just go ask for some water. Like,
yeah. No,
he's a little bit of a martyr with things. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like, just take care of yourself. Be an adult.
Yeah, regulate your emotions.
But this was my favorite. This was my favorite moment. So then they all have to line up for the ceremony. So Kody's like, I'm getting back into it. And I think he's holding Solomon and he's going, it's like, so I decided to go down the line and he goes down the line with all of his kids. And he's like, hey, you're special. You're beautiful. You're this. Hey, you beautiful divas. Hey, like Mr. Politician kissing babies. Like he's just walking down the line to his kids thinking that, do you think that this is going to change things for them?
He thought he was doing so much.
He thought he was such. I gave them hearing from Kody being called you beautiful diva, that would somehow, make them so confident and so happy. And thank God you're there to pep them all up.
After you just yelled at everybody.
Yeah. You're quite the hype man. I think they were just like, great. Thanks, Dad. Get away from us.
We get this thing started.
Yeah. Can we just be done with this?
Get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how he was saying, he said this a few times, talking about how they are one family. They're not four families. It's one family and one home. And it's like, well, not exactly. You're not all in one home. And in fact, everyone just kept to themselves in Vegas and did their own thing. But then this is the creme de la creme. This mission statement, it's called the Kody Brown family.
I wrote that down too. And God, that bugged the crap out of me. And again, I think that these women, for them, I understand that that's kind of the norm. But I hated it. When I first got married, people would write Mr. and Mrs. Steve Bogach. I've never changed my name. I've always been Brigham, never planned to. And it was just interesting to me how quickly people were just assume that I would change it. And then you're not even going to write my name. Tess is gone.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah. Now my name is Mrs. I'm part of this guy.
Mrs.
Please.
Yeah. It should have just been the Brown family mission statement.
Exactly.
Kody Brown family? What the hell? That just makes it worse. You just erased any goodwill that you were trying to create with this thing.
Yeah.
You just erased with this name.
Well, again, I don't think they objected to it. I think maybe today they would object to it, but I think at the time they were okay with that.
Because Janelle said she didn't sign up for patriarchy.
No shit. But
this sounds a little patriarchy-like.
Yes. Yes. Well, I didn't really write down anything that was in the mission statement because it was
it's gibberish.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we all strive for that. Yeah. I too strive to eat well every day. I just ate a bag of pickled potato chips because I didn't have enough time to eat lunch. So I don't know. I strive for all those things too. Do I do it all the time? No. But I think that's so much of that mission statement is about being a good person. Just being a thoughtful person, being a good person, being good to yourself, being good to the people around you.
Good in your family.
Yeah.
But then they have to throw in stuff about abundance and wealth and almost like they're secreting these things. Or, I don't know. I can't remember much of anything. I mean, by the time you get to that point, it's just and I don't think they read the whole, I think it was edited. We didn't even hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Robin starts to cry immediately, which is just, when she starts to cry, I can't listen to a word she says. Again, why can't she regulate her emotions? Why did she cry at the drop of a hat?
I don't know. It's funny. That's a good question because I do think that there are some people that are more criers. And I've had clients that'll say to me, I'm a crier, and they do, and they cry a bit more. And I think that I have that too, where there are a few things that if you wanted me to start talking about it right now, I'd probably burst into tears. I think we all have those things, but the mission statement really shouldn't be something that's like we all have these touch points, these soft parts of ourselves that are, when we talk about it, it's hard. And not because it's bad or traumatic, simply because it's difficult and it's complex. But reading the mission statement really shouldn't be.
Yeah, and they've read it so many times and gone over it so many times. There's nothing surprising in here, It's not like you're hearing these words for the first time.
You've only paid Nancy about $10,000 to sit in her office and do this with her.
Force you to finish it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Again, we all see how she has these dry tears, or these. So I don't know if she's really crying or this is just part of her shtick, but God, that's annoying.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. And then they go through all the stuff, the sand thing. Now we're blending sand and then we're doing the jewelry. And then, so I guess the men get the cuffs and the women got necklaces.
I thought everyone got a cuff.
Oh, I thought the women but maybe everybody did. Okay.
I think everyone did. Because she said they were all the same. It was all identical.
Which, and again, those cuffs are such a look. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's very distinct.
Yeah. Did anyone ever wear them again?
Kody. Because I think that's what Kody likes. I think that's and I think that's why it was created the way it was. And then we watch these 4 men in suits plant a tree. Thank God. You know what? The one good thing they were smart about doing was digging that hole first, because someone told them, you should probably dig this hole and have this all together.
Ready. Don't try to do it on the day of.
Yeah.
Well, and I spotted some people in attendance.
Yes.
So the guy who was sort of officiating, that's Mary's brother-in-law, the manosphere guy. I forget his name.
Oh, the one with the eye.
Cross-eyed
guy. Yeah.
I forget. Nathan? Is that his
Nathan.
name?
Yes, Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan.
He was kind of officiating. Interesting.
Nathan.
And then I saw Mona Reiki.
You did? Oh my God. I saw Sean the trainer. But I did not see Mona Reiki. Oh, what a bummer.
And I saw the Aldridge family because, Vanessa, that's... See,
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that season.
This is before Mitch. But they still knew them so this family, the Aldridges, they were on a show. Oh, they were on Seeking Sister Wives.
Yeah.
For a couple seasons.
I didn't watch those seasons. So I'd heard about them.
They were there.
And so, I'm sorry, these are Mitch's family.
Yeah, Mitch's sister is married to this guy. I forget his first name. The Aldridge guy. So I was trying to look around to see who was there. That's all. Yeah, Logan showed up.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. But I will say that the thing that they did was very sweet. So each kid wrote something that they're grateful for, that their parents taught them, and then they read it. And then technically they were supposed to, each person was to hand their rose down to the next one. So they went from youngest to oldest, and it ended with Logan. And then they gave the flowers back to the parents. It didn't quite come off without a hitch, but it was very sweet. And it was just very, kind of like to see young Savannah, thanking them for teaching her to read.
Yeah.
Savannah's like, I got to get out. I got to read.
Need to be able to get a job and get out of here.
So Savannah's like, thank you for teaching me to read, so I used to have some freedom later in my life. Thank you. But I can't remember some of the other ones, but they were all very sweet and very nice.
They were kind of redundant. The theme kind of was, thanking their parents for, supporting them and everything they want to do, and kind of generic.
Yeah, Maddie basically, thank you for supporting me and not being, because I
not
think
making me sign the mission statement.
Yes. But I thought all of that was really sweet. And it's always nice to see Logan, who does not make a lot of appearances these days. So you're like, oh, good, he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, Kody finally got his wish, because they were all going to go to where the lights are that he's been stringing for 4 days with Van Lady Love. And he was going to be able to cut loose and show us his dance moves.
Oh, Kody loves to dance.
But it's so funny. I said, oh, there's Kody dancing with his favorite person, his mother, his real love, his mom.
Yeah, and Christine changed out of that Renaissance fair dress.
I don't blame her.
She had some other clothes on, and he does that thing where he practically rips her arms out of the socket, whipping her around. That always makes me nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Watching that. And
yeah, he's doing all that stuff, and then he's doing his spastic.
Yeah.
Like, what beat are you on? These people just love to jump to music. They love a mosh pit, and they love to jump. And Kody just, loves to let loose.
Because you don't really have to know how to dance, or really, you're not dancing. You're just jumping.
Oh, and there was a conga line at one point. I mean, yeah.
Crazy times in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Mona's just like, thank God these people, this is over. This is the last time I have to come to this fucking cul-de-sac with these people. She's just counting her commission checks and got to get away from these people.
Yeah. You notice when they left Las Vegas and moved, she did not list the house. Yeah. She did not want to deal with. Jill was trying to sell the houses because I guess, she had her license by then.
Yeah. And so this was the other thing too, was that, they've just gotten into these houses, right? And it took them all their money to get into those houses. And then I look around, I'm like, God, these are big houses and they're all furnished. And this whole time I'm looking at this stuff going, how did you guys furnish all of your houses? Really, what are they doing for money at this point?
Well, remember when they went to the consignment shop?
Yes. That's right.
They got
okay, maybe they got all that furniture from the consignment shop.
Consignment shop.
I don't know.
Couch.
But that was so they got that when they first got to Vegas, and then they moved that furniture over. Yeah. And obviously they had furniture from the other place. But these are huge houses. Mm-hmm. I mean, what are they, like 3,000 square feet each?
At least.
That's a lot of furniture.
3,000, 3,500.
I don't know. I'm very nervous about how they're earning money. Like, the Sister Wives Closet's not making you any money. And
it's the show. That's all they have is the show. They wrote that book. I'm sure they made some money off that.
And I think
book.
They were on some MLM. There were some kind of MLM.
Oh, they've always had MLMs going. Yeah. That's how Kody got that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I went and I looked up because I remember when they did the, look back, talk back or whatever from the last season 18, they had the iPads where they were showing each of them tape from the commitment ceremony. Mm-hmm. And of course, Robin couldn't watch.
Oh.
Like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. I can't do it. How do I turn this off? I need a break. I gotta go.
Oh, that was from that.
Yeah.
They
gave them a pad and said, watch this and to get their reaction to it. Mm-hmm. So her reaction was to freak out and walk off the set. Kody, he commented that, they had basically failed, and it was because of a lack of loyalty.
Oh yeah. That was his big thing.
Yeah. Lack of loyalty to him. That's why they failed. The Kody Brown family.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Mary was so, she's such not a loyal person who stuck by you.
Not at all.
That you dismissed and treated her like she was, old news.
No, they failed because he wanted to spend all of his time with Robin.
Yeah, he failed. They failed because you met somebody that you fell in love with, and that you decided that you didn't want to be a plural husband anymore.
Yeah, you wanted to spend all your time with her. She pumped you up. She made life easy for you. And
she fed your ego. Yeah.
And then they showed Christine, and Christine was just kind of smiling and laughing like, oh, yeah, that's my old life. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. What was Janelle's take?
She was just kind of watching, like, she didn't really say much. Mary watched it and she said something along the lines of, I'm really upset with our family that, we fucked this up, basically. She was mad about it.
Yeah, well, because she was asking a good question. Like, after the ceremony's over, what happens then?
Right.
Like, how do we keep going?
You have to work at it. You can't just have the ceremony and then, bang, it's all done. It's just everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
You don't have to try, Yeah.
Right.
So that's quite an episode, or 2 episodes.
Yeah. So that's the end of season 6.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back next week, like we said, with the first 3 episodes of season 7. We're going to skip the tell-alls and the, whatever the wrap-ups, and go right into the meat, which is Sister Wife's Closet. And why isn't this working?
Getting investors.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's right. I forgot about the...
They do like a Shark Tank.
Yes, the Shark Tank thing.
Pitch.
Yes. So that's going to be very exciting. Thank you so much for listening to us and supporting us. Other great ways to support the show is by subscribing and making sure that you are getting all of our episodes every week. You can give us a rating and review. 5 stars really does help us out. And then finally, if you want more content from us, go check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/PsychLegalPop podcast. We have a lot of great stuff over there. I think that's it for this week. On Thursday, we are continuing with Olympic Fever.
Yes.
And we're going to be covering the Simone Biles documentary, Simone Biles Rising. So that's going to be really interesting as well.
Yeah.
So check us out. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Looking for a fun night out? K1 Speed puts you behind the wheel for an adrenaline-filled time you and your friends will never forget. Off the track, the fun keeps rolling with arcade games, great food, and drinks. They even have private party rooms for your birthday parties and corporate outings. Race hard, laugh harder, and claim your spot on the podium. K1 Speed. More than racing, it's an experience.